Hey there guys, and welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me here. So we're going to be talking about this Cinderella body horror movie. I did do a video on this a few weeks back, but now we have the official trailer for this movie and it looks really good. It's beaten all expectations that I had. The trailer is gory, it's screamish, it's got all kinds of body horror, grotesque stuff in there about body modification and all this kind of crazy stuff. I mean, when you think about the original Cinderella story about the glass shoe, in the actual original book, the source material, didn't one of the sisters cut her foot off to fit the glass slipper? Like, it's actually gory and grotesque in the original book. So this movie actually represents the source material quite closely. But we're going to go through, we're going to read some information regarding this movie. We'll check out the trailer, we'll play it over the top as well so you guys can get a better look at the movie because this looks pretty spectacular. I'm very interested to see this movie. So this comes to us from Bloody Disgusting. The Ugly Stepsister, Cinderella, meets Cronenberg in new trailer that might make you queasy. Yeah, there's one part in this trailer where she's leaning back in the chair and she's having some sort of surgery on her face, and this guy has a chisel and he bashes the chisel into her nose, and like, oh my god, it just made me squint. Like, it was just horrible. Anything to do with the face in horror just makes me cringe. Anyway, so a twisted take on the tale of Cinderella, the upcoming Norwegian body horror movie, The Ugly Stepsister, isn't like other recent movies that would have been putting a horror spin on family-friendly properties. Obviously, we've been getting it a dime a dozen, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, these kind of Steamboat Willie movies, but now we're getting Cinderella. But this movie actually looks to be kind of taking itself more seriously. The darkly entertaining fairy tale from Norwegian writer and director Emily Blichfeld is critically acclaimed for starters, and it's even made someone vomit already. Yeah, in the story that I talked about in the other video that I did, I'll link it down in the description. I did a video where they played this at a film festival and it made the audience members vomit because of how kind of gnarly and grotesque this movie is, which is kind of funny. So, fresh off the film's premiere at Sundance, that was where they made the people vomit at the Sundance, where it indeed made headlines after making one person in the audience vomit. The film is being released in theaters from IFC Films and Shudder on April 18th. So it's going to be on Shudder, that little streaming service that's kind of it's all about horror movies. Shudder is actually a really great service. I do recommend you checking it out if you haven't seen it. It's going to land there April 18th, 2025 this year. Watch the official trailer for The Ugly Stepsister. Obviously, we're doing that. A sinister twist on the classic Cinderella story. Although, like I already said, it's not really a twist because it's more closely related to the source material. The Ugly Stepsister follows Elvira as she prepared to earn the prince's affection at any cost. And we've seen in parts of the trailer, the cost that she's prepared to pay is just crazy. When you modify your body for somebody else, that's just going beyond ridiculous. In a kingdom where beauty is a brutal business, Elvira will compete with the beautiful and enchanting Agnes to become the belle of the ball. The Ugly Stepsister marks the feature debut from Norwegian writer and director Emily Blichfeld and stars Leah Myron and Thea Sophie Lochnas alongside Anna Dal Torp. Sorry if I mispronounced those names. As Megan explains in her review, Blichfeld employs historically accurate medical procedures, so it's historically accurate to the medical procedures they would have done at the time, which is going to make it all the more gruesome. To great stomach-churning effect, delivering graphical body horror by way of unflinching surgeries and self-harm, all in the name of love. Oh my god, some of these scenes are going to be horrific. Just watching somebody modify their own body without kind of like modern medicine would just be awful to watch. The filmmaker refuses to let her audience look away. Each moment, Elvira's ruthless metamorphosis from an awkward, ugly duckling into a poised stunner is drawn out to unbearable degree and frequently shot in extreme close-ups. Beauty is pain, and The Ugly Stepsister wants you to feel it on a visceral level. It's elegant, stylish, and gnarly. Megan adds in her 4-star review. Yeah, so we're going to get a lot of close-up scenes of this woman just doing unspeakable things to herself in the name of love, trying to get the prince's attention, and I just can't even imagine. Like I already said, this story of where she's cutting her foot off to fit the glass slipper, it shows it in part of the trailer. We don't actually see her cut her own foot off, but it shows her, you know, dropping the knife to cut her foot off, and we're actually going to get to see that in the film. But man, it's going to be horrific just to watch this film. But it's going to be one of those films that going to be horrific, but I can't take my eyes off it at the same time. And that's what the best horror movies do. They kind of make you flinch, and they make you kind of, you know, curl back in grotesque horror, but at the same time, you can't take your eyes off it. And that's what a really great horror movie can do. And a great director with great cinematography just keeps your eyes glued to the screen, no matter how horrific the images actually are. But we'll have to wait and see how this turns out. It's looking pretty crazy, and I'm really, really excited to see this. But guys, you see this trailer and this information about this body horror Cinderella movie. What do you think about it? Is it something you're going to be checking out? And just leave your thoughts, comments, and opinions down below. I would love to hear what you guys have to say about this, because it's pretty crazy and extreme by anybody's metric. But anyway, with that down, thank you so much for being here, guys. Make sure you hit the like button before you leave. Consider becoming a subscriber of the channel if you haven't done so already. I would really love to have you guys here as subscribers. It would mean a lot, and I'd really appreciate that. And as always, I will see you in the next video.